The haters, the trolls, what do they all have in common? They're filled with hate and judgment. And this is not even something that you need to acknowledge. You're better than that. They don't need to have a seat at your table. You don't need to give your attention to them or to their irrelevant comments. And I remember hearing this kind of advice for years when I first started to go on the path less traveled of entrepreneurship and was really worried and bothered of what people would say or what they might say about me. And it wasn't until I actively got up and practiced this way of being was when I actually started to feel genuinely unbothered by seeing interesting comments sometimes. So let's dive deeper into how to actually practice this. So if someone has something to say towards you or about you, you can just brush it off and keep moving. What's up? My name is Sabrina and welcome back to the channel. Here in the Better You space, we teach creatives, dreamers, and entrepreneurs how to train their minds to make their daydreams their real daily lives. If you're looking for a deeper transformation, feel free to check out one-on-one mentorship or our online signature program, Unleash Your Life. The links are left in the description below, and let's get into it. First and foremost, I want you to remember that it is only the people who are under you who try to pull you down with them. You will never see someone who has built themselves up to be this high value person, a kind and successful person, hating and spitting on someone else. That just doesn't happen. High value individuals, the people who you actually look to for advice and insight, they are supportive and loving. And who are you to let a crusty dusty's opinion hinder you from taking action towards your God-given goals and dreams? Okay, and I say crusty dusty just to show like the irrelevance of certain comments or things that people might say. This isn't to say that the people who actually are hating are these awful human beings. We have to understand also that the people who do offer their hate and criticism, they are only highly insecure themselves. They wouldn't have those thoughts in their mind. Those thoughts would not exist in their mind if they didn't already think them about themselves, whether they're self-aware of that or not. They are the ones who are suffering from those hateful thoughts. Your mind doesn't know the difference between something you say about someone else and something that you are saying about yourself. Your mind identifies with everything that you say. So I want you to take note that when people criticize you in like a hateful way, not in like a loving, I want to offer you advice type way, but in like a, you know what I mean, type of way, they think that they are kicking you, but they are really only kicking themselves. They are really only hurting themselves, identifying with these things themselves. And you can just have your blockers up, quite literally like your hater shades. This also isn't to say that we are going to hate on the haters, okay? We're not going to fight fire with fire here. We're not going to say, oh, you're trash for saying all these trashy things. No, we're lowering ourselves to that level when we do that. So you know what honestly is the best thing to do when approaching someone who has these hateful, critical, judgmental things to say about you is to literally send them love. Kill them with kindness, genuine kindness, not like a fake, bitter, oh, haha, like sending you love, but like a genuine, I'm sending you love, man, because you obviously have got some shit going on, okay? If you're saying all these things about me, like I know the people who I look up to would never say these kinds of things. And if you're thinking these things, you must be thinking them about yourself too. And your mind must be really like not a great place to be in. So I'm genuinely sending you love and you can go about your day because I'm going to go about mine. That's like the energy we want to take on when it comes to these people. They can only keep saying but so much when you are coming off loving and unbothered. They literally can't keep fighting. They can't keep throwing rocks if you're catching the rocks and building your own tower with them. They're going to get exhausted and stop throwing. But if you take these rocks and you pick it up and you say, oh, you're an awful person for saying that, they're going to keep throwing it back at you. And this is advice not just for like haters and trolls, but for conflict in general when it comes to your relationships in life. Just side note, as cheesy as it might sound, when you constantly come from a place of like unconditional love, it truly does resolve like 99.9999% of conflicts, if not 100% of them. And the key here is to be unbothered, to be and truly feel that sense of unfuckwithableness. And how do you get here? I'm willing to bet you already know what I'm going to say. You have to train your mind to get here. You have to practice. You have to train your mind to live in this unbothered state. You have to know yourself well enough, trust yourself well enough, stand strong enough in yourself to say, I don't care what you say. what you say means absolutely nothing about me, and it means everything about you. And knowing this on a deep level, it doesn't mean anything about you, right? We can hear this saying as many times as we want, but until we actually know it to be our truth, until we actually live by it, we don't actually know it. The only reason you may feel triggered when someone says something about you, about your life, when they come at you, right, is because there is unfortunately some part inside of you that may be hidden, but there's some part of you that also believes this thing that you're being told about yourself. If you are already insecure that you are cringy, okay? You're starting to post online and you have all these worries and fears of like, oh, like what if I'm cringy? Like what if people think I'm cringy? And then somebody is like, oh, this girl is cringy. You're going to get flared up. You're going to feel all hot and heavy and like, oh, I can't believe this person said that. Or you're going to feel way more insecure. You're going to have this triggered reaction. Why? Because a part of you believes that. But on the flip side of that, if you were to, since a young girl, win all the spelling bees, always be the top student of your class, say that you win the Nobel Prize, and then somebody comes along and they're like, oh, this person is stupid. They don't know what they're talking about. Are you going to get offended by that? Absolutely not. Because there's not an ounce of you that believes that. You're like, I literally work with the best researchers in the field. I know what I'm talking about. Like it won't hold this emotional charge over you. And it's funny because one of my really good friends, she is huge in the ASMR industry. Like at this point of me making this video, she's almost at 1 million followers on TikTok, and she has almost 100,000 subscribers on YouTube for her ASMR channel. Her channel is called Safe Space ASMR if you want to check it out. But it's funny because she had a family friend, you could say, that has some interesting things to say about her. And she said, oh, she is this just wannabe influencer on Instagram. And like that was a negative comment she had to say about my friend. And it was not in like a demeaning way laughable, but it was just funny because it held no power. Because we all knew like, okay, one, our friend isn't even really posting on Instagram. She's extremely well known on TikTok and YouTube. And two, she's not a wannabe. Like she is it. And the fact that we can look at this comment and simply just be like, oh, that's genuinely kind of funny. Not in a triggered like, haha, but in a genuine like, it's laughable. We can have this energy towards it because she knows who she is. You know, she's grounded in her confidence, and what this person said means nothing. Obviously is showing that other person's insecurities and hate that they just have in their mind that they're just projecting out. That's all it is. When people say things about you, to you, about your goals, about your dreams, about your life, it's literally all just a projection. And you have to learn to not take it personal. Okay? People's perceptions of you are only a reflection of themselves. Let me say this again, write it down, keep it on a sticky note, on your mirror if you need to. People's perceptions of you are only a reflection of themselves. And in order to truly get beyond this fear of people saying certain things about you, in order to truly be unbothered and unfuckwithable, you have to be okay people not liking you. You have to create this belief system in yourself. And it's a little contradictory because of course we want to, in terms of creating a reality, we want to have the belief that people do, have a liking towards us. But if you keep fearing this, you're only going to unfortunately attract it because it will stay in your energetic field. It will stay in your state of consciousness. And when you have this energetic knot of fear of like, oh, I'm afraid of what these people are going to say, you're putting that energy out there. You're going to talk differently, talk out of that place of fear. People are going to feel that, right? It's going to cause the cycle of you creating and manifesting this for yourself. When you create the belief and regulate your nervous system to be genuinely okay with people not liking you, that's when you stop caring. That's when you become magnetic as fuck. That's when you actually step into your authentic energy because you're no longer putting out that scared and worry energy of, oh, what are these people going to think of me? That's when you actually start owning your shit because you're like, I don't care. At this point, I don't care what you think of me. The more you practice this unconditional love towards yourself, and you just sit in your glowing, authentic energy, the more others are going to see you and have that unconditional love for you. And there's a self-concept teaching that teaches how everyone is you pushed out. And there's a lot of duality in this statement because, like, obviously certain people's perceptions of you are a reflection of themselves. So everyone is them, but how it affects you and how it shows up in your reality is a reflection of you. It's you pushed out. Does that make sense? If someone has all these nasty things to say to you, it doesn't mean that you are these nasty things. It's only if you are triggered and feel upset with these nasty things, it's showing you where your insecurities are at. It's showing you what shifts you need to make internally in order for you to rise above. Someone can say all of these nasty things and it doesn't have to have any hold on your reality. You can literally look at it and not think twice about it. If you stand so strong in your confidence in yourself and your value in yourself, in knowing who you are, someone else's comment that obviously is not true is not going to hold any weight on you. It's not going to live rent-free in your head. And therefore, by not reacting to it, you're going to attract it less. It means absolutely nothing about you until you make it mean something about you. And I realized through my own experience through this of like listening to the videos of like, be unfuckwithable and be unbothered. Like I didn't actually learn these lessons until I was presented with it in my life. And I had to actively train my nervous system to be okay and comfortable with people saying certain things. Like this takes training. This takes integrating to actually integrate these lessons into your daily life. Training your mind to do this happens. Yes, before you can do like self-talk rampages of hyping yourself up, of knowing your value. But at the end of the day, when you feel triggered, that's where the work is. Seeing that comment come through, actively practicing PRR. I'll link up the in-depth explanation of that practice if you haven't heard me explain it before. Notice a trigger, pause, regulate your nervous system, and rewire. This is how you deal with the haters, by practicing being comfortable with it, practicing seeing it and not caring, practicing seeing it and going, oh, I can learn and understand that this comment doesn't have to mean anything about me, that I don't have to feel any type of way towards this. I am learning and understanding that you saying this thing only means things about you and nothing about me. So I'm just going to send you love. And this is what I'm going to keep practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing until I feel really good in this, until it just comes second nature. It just comes automatically to me. And I can just feel genuinely unbothered. And you know how much power you have in that state where you can just be genuinely unbothered. You have broken the shackles of fear. Like that's huge. Like this is worth practicing. This is when you can truly like glow in your authenticity. And it's like, we just love those people who are unapologetically themselves. You know, the people who are unapologetically themselves. I know that there is someone that comes to your mind when you think of that. And you know how magnetic they are? You know how much they don't care when people say certain things about them? Oh, your outfit looks like it's from 1970s. Or like, do you really have to make 30 dancing videos? Like they don't care about those comments because they're rocking their outfit. They're loving dancing. They're being themselves and they're comfortable taking those comments. Therefore, they expand their energetic capacity to receive those comments. And that's when more growth happens. If we're speaking in terms of like business and success, the less you can handle judgment and external criticism, the smaller you're keeping yourself energetically, right? There's not going to be a lot of inflow with your audience if you can't handle the inflow of criticism that may come with it. The more you stop caring, the more you get rid of those fears, right? Those fears are energetically blocking more people from coming into your space. And so if we're speaking of this in terms of building your business and building success, building an audience following, maybe you're like wanting to become an influencer, the less you care, the more you work through this, and the less you care, the more you're dwindling away that fear, the more you stop repelling the people from coming into your space. And it's so funny because this is a lesson that I've been actively learning for the past couple of years, and I keep having to practice it as I learn it on deeper and deeper levels. And recently I was really, really tested with this as someone was saying certain things about me and the things that I post, and I was letting myself feel really hurt by it. And it's so interesting. It's interesting that I noticed how upset that I felt by these comments. And I was like, hold up. Like, I know who I am. I know my truth. I know my intentions of posting this content, of genuinely wanting to help so many people, knowing the power that my voice has so that I can help empower all these other people, right? Like, I know myself. It's like when I was actively practicing this in the moment and I was regulating my nervous system and reminding myself who I am and my values and standing strong in my knowing of myself. It was this exact day where after I regulated my nervous system and I declared like, no, I'm going to stand strong in myself and I'm not going to let myself be so emotionally affected by someone saying these things. That's when my persistence is the key video started to pick up. And I was getting thousands and thousands of views. And on my channel at that time, I wasn't used to getting that many views. I was expanding my capacity to receive more by regulating my nervous system, my energetic field, instead of keeping myself small from my fears of, oh, God forbid, what if someone misunderstands what I say and they think I'm a bitch, or they just like think that I'm saying the wrong things, or they have something to say. These fears were keeping me small. When I actively regulated my nervous system and reminded myself of my knowing of myself, my energy expanded. I was able to let in more. And then that's when my channel grew from 3,500 to 4,500 in a time span of like a week. And if you're caught in this space of feeling anxious and worried and dysregulated from someone saying something, you can check out this video on different tools and practices you can do to regulate your nervous system, because that is a big step in becoming and stepping into this unbothered state. You need to keep yourself calm, meaning continuing to regulate your nervous system. And again, this is a practice. If you keep feeling flustered by certain comments, you just need to keep regulating. Eventually, your body will start to remember, oh, seeing this comment means that it's okay. I can feel safe in my body. I can see these people saying these things and I can still be good in myself. I can still be safe regardless. You're training your body to feel that way when you regulate your nervous system on a regular basis. If you got to this point of the video, leave a black heart emoji in the comment section below so I know who made it to this point. I'm genuinely interested in how this video resonated with you, so let me know in the comments as well. Give this video a thumbs up to help with the channel, subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified for more, and I will see you in the next one.